Good day, Minecraftians. Purple Mentat here, bringing you episode 50 of my Agrarian Skies Hardcore Quest Let's Play. This game pack by Jadedcat is available on the Feed the Beast launcher. Last time, I set up a bunch of quests to process through. This time, let's see how those are progressing. I have 115 buckets of honey in the bank, so I should go and get that honey quest finished up. Today, I'm not going to be doing the aesthetic episode. I have big plans for it. I just need to get a particular new recording option set up before I can do what I want to do properly. Also, since last time, my fluid protein completed itself, so I'll be able to hand that in today. I'm going to need a bucket of honey to set this system up to pump my honey in. Go grab that real quick. Can I not do a bucket of honey? I can't do a bucket of honey. That's okay. I can do a can of honey. There we are. Just some sort of fluid container to let my ME fluid export bus know that it's no longer supposed to pump meat, it's supposed to pump honey. And then I just need to select task on the honey and whack that. And this won't take very long and I'll have a couple of quests to hand in. Also, I believe that I am in a good place for Cloudy with Meatballs if I go take a look at my current steak supply. I currently need 475 spaghetti with meatballs to finish it, and I have 475 steaks. So, there... I don't know why I was looking at the wrong spot. Therefore, I'm going to grab myself one spaghetti. And set this up to start that completing. This will probably be the last time I show how to configure all of this on screen. You guys have seen it a few times now, and you don't really need to see it any more than this, I'm sure. Alright, let's go hand a couple of quests in. Well, actually, let's get on to today's project first, because I have it all in my inventory already, and things are going to be a mess without it. So part of what I wanted to do today is get some dirt happening. Not because I feel like I'm going to need it particularly, but because I have 138,000 rubber leaves, and I want to not have 138,000 rubber leaves anymore. The only good use that I have for those is to turn them all into dirt. So I'm going to come down here, and I'm going to set up a system to do exactly that. You're going to use some of my covered cable to run a line going this way, and I'm going to set up an interface right here. Off of that interface is going to be a number of jungle barrels. And I'm going to be using a total of 64 of them in this pattern. Whoops. Get these down. And let me show you how I'm going to configure them. So I'm going to have item ducts running along the top of them. As well as running back along the sides. And the ones on the sides are going to be configured to output. The ones on top are going to be the inputs. This way I don't have to use a ton of export and import buses. I believe that this item duct system should be less laggy than that. And now I'm going to actually connect everything back to the same spot, and I'm going to set this to dense mode, meaning this will be the last place that anything tries to go. I'm going to configure this to output, and I'm going to put, well, do I want to output a stack at a time? I think I want to output 8 at a time, because that is how many can fill one barrel. And I'm going to keep a stack of, well, nope, I screwed up. So if I put some rubber leaves in the proper side of things, here we go. If I place them in the left-hand side, the ME interface will always keep a stack of rubber leaves there. And with this thing outputting, it will fill up the barrels. Fantastic. With the barrels full, they will slowly convert to dirt, and I will have everything set to output, which it won't do until the dirt is finished composting. So I'm going to get the rest of this built and configured, and that way it'll use up all of my jungle leaves. And then if I decide that I want to get more dirt at some point in time, I can easily just set the system back to shearing jungle leaves. And maybe I'll add oak leaves to this. But for now, I'm collecting oak leaves for the aesthetic project that I'm still getting prepared for. Oops. So, I'll be right back as soon as this is done being built, show you what the final version of it looks like, and then we'll move on to bigger and better things. So, brief derp, I forgot that you cannot pull out of the side of these barrels, and I am now setting up everything underneath instead with red net cable to make them extract instead of servos, because 32 servos I was willing to spend on this build, 64 is too many, if only because I would have to craft more of them, and I'm not willing to invest any more resources in this than I already am. So, once I have this all set up, which won't take very much longer, I will be back. Alright, here's our finished build. We have strips of item ducts underneath, all set to export, a couple of strips of rednet cable providing a redstone signal to all of those item ducts to get them working, and a bunch of item ducts on top supplying all of these barrels with rubber leaves. The reason I have the top connecting back to the interface with a dense mode on it is so that this system is never stuffed. There is always an exit for leaves. It will always be exporting, and sometimes it's going to be just looping them out of the system and back in, which is going to cost a little bit of extra power, but that's a better solution than having my leaves get stuffed up in the ducts, which, depending on your version of thermal expansion, can cause critical server lag, world destruction, and horrible bugs of that nature that will render it completely unplayable, or just end up deleting a whole bunch of items. And as, much as I have a ton of extra rubber leaves, I'd rather use them than delete them. Because I'm finicky like that. I like to make sure that I'm actually using every resource that I'm able to in a reasonable manner. Alright, let's make sure that I don't have any spawnable area down here. I do just a little bit. There we go. You can hear my cows up over top of me. This is extending underneath my house. I've decided against the basement idea. I have a better idea for what I was going to put in the basement. Alright. There we go. Got that all running. And next on the agenda is going to be turning in quests that I've already completed and then setting up a system to complete even more. So, Cloudy with Meatballs finished while I was downstairs, so I can claim that reward for 2 more hearts. And an epic reward bag, which, oh, that's pretty nice. Sensus, Perditio, Modus, Ordo, Instrumentum, Potentia, and Herba. I feel like I had this reward once, but it still will save me some effort in the long run. I won't have to spend a bunch of time distilling all of those aspects from various places. What else do we have completed? Hell's Kitchen, 92% complete. Only 1 more. I just need not-so-fast food, which means I need to get my pigs going. You know what? I'm going to change that from wheat to carrot. And I'm going to change, let's see, what am I looking for? Pork chops. Do I have enough beef? Not nearly. It's a bit of an issue. You know what, though? I bet that if I grab some wheat, and I have wheat and carrots in there, and I just say, you know what? Forget this limiter. I want all of the pork chops and all of the beef. I come over here. I hope that if I pull out a stack of beef, I'll get a stack of carrots. I mean, a stack of wheat. Maybe? Alright, you're oh, how about always active? That might help. Because once I have carrots in here, which I do now I should always be putting in more than this thing can possibly use over time. So I'm going to get it a little bit more half and half. There we go. And now I will constantly be producing more pigs and more cows. I should set this sewer to be able to output mob essence. Who am I kidding? I don't need more mob essence. And let's take a look at our LP, because I know that this ritual does drain over time. I want to make sure that I'm not getting too low. No, I have 9,624,000 still. That is really nothing to be worried about. I've got a little bit of a constant draw going on, but if I just activate my villagers between episodes every now and then, I'll be fine. Between episodes, I replaced my slaughterhouses on my mob farm with grinders because I was in a good place that I no longer needed to be grinding them up into meat. Alright. Get the honey deposited back in there. Should have the honey quest complete now if I go with the flow. Yep. Fantastic. And I'm still grinding up bees. The reason you want to use the Gendistry DNA extractor other than any other option, yes, it has a potential of using up some of your labware, which are made with diamonds. Thing is, I have a ton of diamonds. I don't care about spending them on something like that. And it gives more per drone and operates faster than the option from extra bees. Because it says it's only supposed to give 100 per drone if I take a look at the recipes. But in fact, I'm getting 120 per drone if I watch this. It'll go from 27,600 to 27,720. Which is more than you get by about 20% than you would from the extra bees gene pool. That guy right there. And also, I don't have to scan them first. To get 100 millibuckets per bee out of the extra bees gene pool, I would have to scan them. Which is just, it's either a very time-consuming process or it's a very manual process. And I'm not happy with either manual or time-consuming. Let's see how our rubber leaf supply is doing. Still 137,000. It's going to take a very long time. However, more dirt flowing in is always a good thing. Okay, so the bees aren't going to be done anytime soon, but I do have honey complete, which I'll take the left-hand reward bag. And I have fluid protein complete. I can get pearl oysters. I'm not that worried about those. Those are from mariculture. They're good for making, what do you call it? Jewelry. Thing is, I already have some of them somewhere. I think. Thought I did. Maybe they are in here. Anyway, they're something that I can acquire if I decide to go down that route. Right now, with mariculture being in kind of a state of flux for the pack, we're not sure if it's going to stay, and it definitely doesn't have any quests associated with it. I'm just not that concerned with it. Love the idea of the mod, and I'm looking forward to using it in the future in a more traditional Let's Play. But for this pack, yeah. Water hives, I think, are what I'm going to take, because more bees are good, and water hives in particular, water bees, lead to a lot of really cool options. So that gives me a total of 3 hearts, bringing me to 91 lives, so close to 100. I have 16 spawn pig eggs. You know what? I'm going to use those to speed up my production over here. Things are going to be a little packed in. Yeah, I like the looks of that. Poor little piggies. You know what? I can make some more cow eggs too, can't I? Spawn cow. Yeah, I can. I bet I have a ton of leather by now. Let's put 16 more cows in there too, just to get this going a lot faster. And, you know, for maximum offending the Humane Society. There we go. That looks like a perfectly fine space for like 60 odd animals, right? Yeah, they're starting to glitch through the walls. I know that I'm at capacity now. Fantastic. Open my reward bag. 2 spaghetti with meatballs. That is just sad. Alright. So if I go with the flow, no quest available to hand in, no quest available to hand in. Good. We're in a good spot. Fantastic. Next on the go with the flow list, fungus drippings. I need mushroom soup. Specifically, I need 16,000 buckets of mushroom soup. It's going to take quite a bit. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab some more cow eggs, and I'm going to use ancient spores on them. I only have 4 ancient spores at the moment, but that'll be plenty. And these will allow me to create mushrooms. I'm going to grab some wheat, and I'm going to breed me some mushrooms. And before I go any further, I'm going to take a nap. Morning again, I awake refreshed and ready to perpetuate more cruelty to animals. So, I want my mushrooms over here. All I need to do is put down a cow and use some ancient spores on it. And the reason I want them in this pen specifically is I have ranchers over here that are constantly working, which means that they will fill up with mushroom soup. Unfortunately, I did not set these tesseracts to output liquids. Sending items, receiving fluid. There. Fluid mode, send. And now I'm going to be constantly putting more mushroom soup into my system. And it'll actually go fairly fast from the looks of it. Fluid mode, send only. There we go. Alright, come here, mushrooms. I'm going to feed you some wheat, feed you some wheat, you and you. Produce more baby mushrooms. Mushrooms are kind of terrifying with their, soulless, dead black pits of eyes and the fungus that has taken over their entire body and brain. I only have one baby mushroom. Did I miss a mushroom? We'll breed more sheep while I'm at it. More purple wool can't be a bad thing. There. Now I have purple lambs. And I have 2 baby mushrooms and a bunch of chickens running around because they keep getting the eggs extracted from them, which I can't imagine is a pleasant process. Alright. Let's see how we're doing on mushroom soup already. Mushroom soup. Oh yeah, 30 buckets already. This 1600 buckets will go very fast. That's fantastic. Okay. Well, I'm not doing any other liquid quest at the moment, so I might as well set this guy to work on the mushroom soup for me. Because the bees quest, that's one that I'll probably complete manually since I have it all in the portable tanks over there. I need my bucket. Where's my bucket? I don't have any buckets on me. Horror of horrors. Click the right place. Come on, give me a bucket. There we are. Oh, you might note that I have a different mouse pointer. I don't know if that will show properly. I hope it does. I found a Minecraft theme on the Minecraft forums. A Minecraft theme for Windows, which has Minecraft-themed mouse pointers installed in it as well. And it tickled me, so I decided to use it. There we go. Yay! And mushroom soup is very quickly filling. Awesome. And now I can ignore that until it completes itself. Alright. In for the hoarding, I have 3 essential quests left. Dirt and Soul Sandwich I'm already working on, and even more storage, which I looked at last time. The only thing I was short for even more storage to be able to have a chance of completing it sometime soon was Certus Quartz. So, I am going to create myself a lot more Certus Quartz. Step 1 in that is going to be making myself a handful of production upgrades. I have 53 Royal Jelly and multiple Imperial Princesses coming in, so I'm pretty good on the Royal Jelly production, which is what I need to make the production upgrades. Do I have production upgrades taught to the system? I do! Fantastic. So, make me 16 of those. Begin! Why is it trying to craft a bunch of cobblestone? That's strange. Hang on, let me sort that out. I see what happened now. It was trying to craft a lever, and it did not realize that it could do so with the cobblestone that was already in the system right here, because I accidentally had the storage bus set to insert only. So it was attempting to use the compressed cobblestone recipes that I currently had to craft into cobblestone, but I was completely out of compressed cobblestone. Speaking of which, I can tear down those. No longer need them. I have my 2 million cobblestone in my DSU, and I will probably never gather any more than that. Because that's enough. I'm done. I'm good. Alright. Production upgrades. I'm going to take all of them. And I'm going to put 8 of them into the Imperial Princess area because I want to get more royal jelly to make more production upgrades. So we're going to see the power here go from 24.3 RF per tick way up to 104.3 RF per tick. But we also have the production. Oh, it's not showing me production anymore. That's odd. It was doing that last time. I thought. I don't know why it was showing me that last time now. I swear that I had a production percent on top of there at one point. In any case, this is a multiplicative production. So that 20% is actually, instead of giving me a total of 260%, it's giving me around 400 odd percent. So I'll be getting a bunch of royal jelly and a bunch of the combs that give the honeydew. Awesome. Now, Certus quartz. I need more of it. To make Certus quartz, well, I can't make it directly without the ore. And there's no recipe for the ore, but there is a recipe for the dust. And I can turn the Certus quartz dust back into Certus quartz in a shapeless crafting recipe that my system already knows how to do. To make Certus quartz dust, I can pulverize the ore, I can pulverize the quartz itself, or I can centrifuge Certus combs. To get the Certus combs, well, quantum bees have a 15% chance of producing them every time. Spatial bees have a 5% chance. And they also produce shimmering combs, which when centrifuged give me ender pearl dust, which I don't know if that's directly useful for anything. I think maybe it's used in crafting the applied energistics cross-dimensional singularity link thingy, but I also think that maybe it's not supposed to be there at all. In any case, I want quantum bees because I want Certus combs. To get quantum bees, I need to breed Spatial Princess with Spectral Drone. To get Spatial, I need Abnormal with Hermitic. Hermitic sounds a lot like Monastic, so Monastic and Secluded gets me the Hermitic, and to get Secluded, I need Monastic and Austere. Monastic, I already have from one of the quest rewards. So step 1 is a monastic bee. Fantastic. I'm going to start these working in my die off quickly machine so that I have lots and lots of drones and hopefully a lot of princesses as well. And while those are working, I will look into how to create austere bees. Well, austere bees use modest and frugal. Modest I have already, so I'm going to grab myself some modest bees. And I'm going to start them cycling through as well. Now, I believe that might be the wrong environment for modest bees, which means I'm going to have to show you how to alter that. Yep, hostile environment. So, if I take a look at the modest queen in the beealyzer, I can see that it requires cacti for flowers, and it wants an arid, hot environment. This is native to the desert. So, one thing that I can do for that fairly easily is I can open up my interface and I can make a desert emulation upgrade, which will make it think that this is a desert. And that's one very easy way to take care of this for this particular setup. So I'm going to give the modest queen back in, and now it's happy. It just needs the proper flowers, which are cactus. It should need the proper flowers. Doesn't seem to understand that it doesn't have cactus at the moment. Oh, monastic queens don't have the right flowers. Let's take a look at what flowers they need. They need wheat. And this should realize it doesn't have the right flowers in just a moment. So, I want some wheat set up here. So let me get some seeds. Just the one. And let me grab out my hoe from my bag. Oh, actually, this will be a fantastic time to use my hoe of growth, which is in my auto enchanter still. It got repaired too. So I'm just going to till this right here. And I'm going to put down some seeds. And then this will realize, oh, hey, look, there is wheat nearby. And the great thing about the hoe of growth is I can right-click it on a crop, and it'll apply a bone meal effect, using some of the durability. The fun part about repair is that it will slowly tick its durability back up. It's at 1491 right now. You'll see that go higher in just a moment. Now, I also need some cactus. and some sand to plant it on. Now remember, cactus can't be directly next to anything. Alright, you're now happy, and so are you. Awesome. Now, one particular issue. As I'm using this desert emulation upgrade, that means that I'm out of upgrade slots. I can't have seal, light, lifespan, automation, and desert emulation all in the same place. So what this means is I can't maximize everything that my bees can do all on my own. I need to make the bees a little bit better. The bees themselves have to be improved. And that's what the quest line has been driving me towards for a while now. It wants me to build the genetic control, which blank gene sample, genetic template, and genetics labware. Let's see what I can make out of those. I think I can craft just a little bit of each of that. One labware, one template, one sample, and I need that serum. And that'll let me hand this quest in. And I will get some cool stuff, a guaranteed indexer. I feel a little silly now for selecting the one as a potential reward. And my reward bag. 92 lives now, and an epic reward bag, which contains a bunch of blood magic alchemy reagents. Power and lengthening catalysts. Not bad, but I already have the systems in place to build lots of those. I did get a Valiant Princess and another Valiant Drone out of it, which is kind of nice. That'll make life a little easier later. And another indexer, which I'm going to go toss with the first one into this chest. Now, the genetic sampler and the genetic imprinter are going to be very important for the long-term bee growth. I'm actually going to tuck those on a power line over here. Here we go. Now, the way these work, if you remember, bees have multiple genes to them. If I scan this stack of genetic drones, which as they're all the same genome, I can do so with the use of 1 drop of honey, I see that they are majestic, shortened, normal, slowest, flowers, 4 drones, area of 9x6x9, effect none. I can see that they like normal climate, normal humidity, they are diurnal, they are not nocturnal, they are flowers, and they are not, they are not flyers, meaning they won't operate in the drain, they are not cave dwellers, and they produce this particular honeycomb, which that's set by the species, which is this particular trait. Any one of those genes can be sampled. Let's make myself more labware. Well, I have the labware. Let's make myself more of the blank gene samples, which just uses tin and redstone. If I insert the blank gene samples and the genetics labware and a majestic drone in there, it will consume 1 gene sample, 1 labware, the drone, and 20,000 redstone flux. Or I'm sorry, 200,000 redstone flux to produce a gene sample. This will apply the none effect, meaning it will cancel out any effects that a bee has. That's actually a very useful gene sample to have because there are a number of bees with really nasty effects to them. Well, that's not the only one that I want out of these drones. I also want to get myself the ability to make the drones flower off of regular normal flowers instead of needing specialty things like that wheat or that cactus. Here we go, effect none again. So, if you end up with extras, you can take those extras and smelt them to get your blank gene sample back. You can also take any samples that you have and combine them with the template. We'll get into that in just a moment. Right now, I'm going to let the majestic drones burn through until I have the samples that I am looking for. In this case, I want the 4 times fertility, I want the regular flowers, and I want the effect none. Because this will speed up my... Ooh, it automatically starts going again. Let's see what happens. Ah, it will stop and wait until I pull that one out. Temperature tolerance none, that is not a useful one. So, to make this as easy as possible, I am going to grab myself a redstone furnace out of my extra machines area. I'm going to take that right over here. Oops. set you down, grab a bit of power, and grab a hopper out of my ME network. And the reason I'm doing this is I can set the hopper here, set the furnace to accept from the top and output to the right, and any extras that I get or just samples that I don't want, like this temperature tolerance none, species majestic, also not super useful. I'll hang on to that one just in case. I can just toss them into the hopper, which will feed into here. Let's see, effect none. I have multiple effect nuns. It will eat that up, and it will output it straight back into the sampler. Tolerant flyer false, territory average, all of these are not very useful. So it's a little bit random, and it eats up a lot of drones to get the ones that you really want. But it's also just a great way to make sure that you have the exact type of bees that you want. So I'm going to get the samples that I need, and once I have them all, I will be back to show you how to turn those into a template that you can apply to your bees. Alright, I now have the flowers, fertility 4, and effect none samples. I'm going to apply those to this template by just combining all three in the crafting interface with the genetic template. And it will tell me I have 3 of 14 chromosomes added, and it is giving fertility 4, flowers, and effect none. Now I can use that template in the imprinter. I place in whatever bee that I would like, for example, this modest princess, with the genetic template and some labware, and it will consume the bee and change all of its genomes. I mean, all of its chromosomes. This genetic template can be reused over and over and over again. So what you end up doing is you collect all of the best genes from various places, which I believe flowers, and fertility 4 to be some of the best, and you get your bees upgraded to be super bees. So if I take a look in the Beealyzer at my modest princess now, I can see that lifespan short, speed slow, pollination slowest, flowers, fertility 4. The effect is already none. I would like to get climate, humidity, temperature tolerance, and humidity tolerance genes as well. And I would love to get, modest have nocturnal naturally. So this is one of those really great effects that I can get so that I no longer need to have the light upgrade in anything. And now that I have a modest princess and modest drone with the new genes, I'm going to get them in there. And since I know that this does not need the light upgrade for the modest queen to keep working, I'm going to toss that in there. I mean, I'm going to remove that to get the automation upgrade going. Now, the great thing about the monastic line is they are extremely long-lived. The problem with the monastic line is they only give one offspring. So you can't really get lots of extra drones from them naturally. But using gobs of power, I can insert 4 times... I need more labware. Using gobs of power and a 1/16 of a diamond per bee, I can insert more offspring into the genome of this monastic bee. Fantastic. So, unfortunately, that's going to be all the time that we have for today. Next time, I'm going to continue working my way towards the spatial and quantum bees so that I can get my Certus combs. Thank you very much for joining me. I hope you are enjoying the series thus far. If you liked today's episode, please leave a thumbs up and tell me what you liked about it. If you did not like today's episode, please leave a thumbs down and tell me what you didn't like about it. Now, I still have not had a chance to see the final results of the texture pack poll because I'm recording this on the day that the poll ends, but sometime in the next couple of videos you will get a final announcement. I'm still using Faithful at this time because the straw poll, the Sortex, has not yet achieved the majority that I wanted it to be able to use it, because Faithful is so close to vanilla and it's so simple to see exactly what I'm looking at, and it looks a little bit better. So, I will see you next time.